Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be reviewing There Will Be No Turkey This Christmas on the Nintendo Switch. Now this game is actually a stealth-based action game with an isometric viewpoint. The game was released on May 19th of 2022, and it sells on the Nintendo Switch eShop for only $2.99. The game is published by Celestia Games, and it has a download size of only 80 megabytes. Now, other than the fact that they chose a terrible name for attracting people to it on the eShop, does this budget little indie game do enough to be worth a pickup? Well, we're going to try and answer that in today's review. Now, just remember, if you are appreciating the content, one of the best ways to show your support is just to hit that like button. Now, storyline-wise, the setup is very simple. We get a quick introductory cutscene that basically lets you know that you are a turkey that has decided to try to escape from the household rather than become Christmas dinner. To do that, you've decided to jump into a barrel and use it to stealthily make your way out of the home. Now, other than this, throughout the whole gameplay, you're not really going to get any other storyline elements other than a slight cutscene at the end. But for such a simple premise and setup, you know what, it really isn't needed here yet again, so let's jump straight into the gameplay. So this game is basically split up into 30 different levels over 5 different zones, all representing a different part of the house, such as the kitchen, the bedroom, or the living room. And yet again, the basic premise here is very simple: make your way through the level and find the exit. As I said at the beginning of the video, this is a stealth-based game, and as you make your way towards the exit, you have to do your best to stay out of the line of sight of any of the humans. Now, when you come across a human, you're going to see exactly where their line of sight is. If you step within that line of sight, unfortunately the human will try to chase you down, and if they catch you, turn you into Christmas dinner. Now, the primary way that you have to prevent this from happening is to hide inside your barrel and be able to peek out till the human passes by. The only thing to keep in mind here is that you have a limited amount of time that you can stay within the barrel before it will force you to pop out. Now, if a human does see you, it is not automatically game over. If you can make it outside of their line of sight, they will stop chasing you. And at certain moments of the game, this will be unavoidable, so learning to dodge the humans is very important. Now, to add an extra layer of difficulty, you also can only see what's in your direct view sight, meaning that as you make your way around a corner or around an object, you have to watch out if a human might not be right there. Now, as you progress through the games, the levels will become more and more complex, forcing you to find keys to open doors to be able to progress. You will also eventually come across some dogs that can out you to the humans even if you're hidden within the barrel. You'll also find some hidden passageways throughout the different levels, generally indicated by little turkey footprints. These hidden passageways will often lead to hidden collectibles that will allow you to unlock new skins for your turkey. Now, my first, maybe only critique in this game is that I was really hoping that eventually they would throw in a few new mechanics throughout the game. Unfortunately, it is exactly the same throughout the 30 levels, other than a cosmetic change and the levels getting slightly more complex. Now, obviously, this is a $3 indie title, but nonetheless, I would have still expected a slight change of pace throughout the levels. Now, what you're presented here with took me about 2 hours to complete in totality, all the while collecting all the hidden collectibles. And I've got to say that at a $3 price point, 2 hours of gameplay is actually pretty respectable. And in reality, without throwing in any fresh mechanics any longer than that would have started becoming repetitive. Now if we start talking about the controls. Now control-wise, once again, this is a very simple game. You move your turkey around using the left joystick. Unfortunately, you do not have the option for using the D-pad here, something I would have liked to see. But other than that, it is a 2-button control scheme. X will hide you in your barrel, hitting it a second time will release you. And while you are in your hidden barrel mode, if you hold down the A button, you will peek out of your barrel and have a certain viewpoint around you to see if the humans have passed. There's also a slight indicator while you're in the barrel above your head, represented by 4 different circles. As the circles disappear, that is basically your countdown to when you will be forced out of your stealth mode. But pretty much that is the full control scheme in a nutshell. Now, I will say that the controls are very responsive, and I really didn't have any issues with them throughout the whole game. One thing, however, that I did notice that was missing is that if you enter a level you've already finished on accident, there's actually no way to automatically exit it. You either have to make your way to the exit or let yourself be caught by a human to return to the menu. A pause menu with an exit option would have been appreciated. But honestly, that is only a very small gripe, because overall it only happened to me about a couple of times. I let a human catch me and I hit the B button to return to the menu. Now moving on to the graphics and sound. Now graphically, this is a game with a very simple pixel art presentation. And I do want to start out by saying that I actually preferred visually playing this game in handheld mode than in docked mode. Mostly due to the fact that on the smaller screen, since this is some low-res pixel art, it really didn't seem out of place. However, when I did play the game in docked mode on a larger screen, the pixel work did seem lackluster. Now don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad, it's just that you could see that the pixel art is low-res. But overall, for a budget $3 indie game, I do find that artistically everything is well represented. The fact that you have different skins for your turkey is a fun little addition. And the fact that the overall color scheme and environment changes every 5 or 6 levels does keep it fresh from a visual perspective. Obviously, from a performance perspective, there were no issues with the games, no frame drops. I would have been very surprised. Now, sound-wise, unfortunately, we only get one track throughout the whole 30 levels. Now, the track itself isn't bad, and it does have different tones and different moments, meaning that there is a somewhat change of pace throughout it, but nonetheless, by the end of the 30th level, you do realize it's the same track on repeat. Now, once again, for a $3 indie game, this isn't bad. However, I would have preferred to have a different track, one for each environment. Overall, visually and sound-wise, this game will definitely not be winning any awards, but given its simple, straightforward gameplay, it gets the job done. So now we get to the verdict. And if this is one of the first reviews of mine you're watching, just to let you know, my full review scale is down below in the description of the video. And in the case of There Will Be No Turkey This Christmas on the Nintendo Switch, I will be giving it a 7, putting it at the low end of a good game. Now obviously, price point is a big part of the way I review games, and as a $3 indie title, you know what, I had a lot of fun with this one for a couple of hours. And I actually enjoyed the game enough that I went back into the levels where I lost some collectibles and I got that 100% completion. So you know what, at a $3 price point, I think this game did its job. Now the only downside is I can't really go any higher than that, because as I said during the review, we were lacking a few fresh mechanics to keep the gameplay feeling new till the end. But I really think that if you're in the market for a budget-oriented action stealth game, especially one that you're going to be playing in handheld mode, There Will Be No Turkey This Christmas could be a very decent pickup. So now the decision's all up to you. And let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this review and whether you think you'll be picking up the game or not. And don't forget, on the way out, that if you did like the content, consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel if you aren't already, and clicking on the notification bell so you know when all my future content comes out. And as usual, I hope I'll see you in my next video.